Tyler, brought to you by Paranormal Inc., right here on WLFE DB Radio.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 29 of Step Into the Paranormal.
29.
29, and it's all because of you guys. Mwah! Love you.
Next one will be the big 30.
By the way, I got
Same age as me, 30.
I got into an argument, and I lost. He's gone. He's gone.
I got to show Dave how to use that beard trimmer.
Yeah, no, I was going like it. Oh, damn. So, hey, I heard you got something special coming up.
Yeah.
Next week.
Yes.
Something real special.
Yes.
Get a load of this.
It's even more special than Dave.
I'm not special.
For those of you that, including myself and David Seiler, that are fans of the Travel Channel's Haunted Hospitals.
Good show.
I will be leaving Tuesday for filming for one of the episodes.
Nice.
So it's going to be an exciting journey.
He got a story.
I got a story to tell.
He got a story.
I got a story to tell.
Well,
speaking of stories to tell them about the night's special guest.
We have an awesome of awesomeness, a place that I am dying to go, and we'll probably end up there next Sunday. And without any further ado, we're going to add Mr. Greg O'Brien.
From Fort Mifflin, Philadelphia.
What's up, Greg?
Hey, guys.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us about a little bit about the fort, what's going on there, some of the neat stuff.
Well, I've been got into the paranormal really because of the fort. The first time we spent the night, it was way before it was even famous for paranormal with the with Boy Scouts.
Mm-hmm.
And man, everything you can imagine happened that night. So that's when I really got into the paranormal, and then I started volunteering at the fort, and eventually I got asked to be the paranormal host there at Fort Mifflin.
Awesome.
How long you been hosting there, Greg?
Really, officially just 2 years. Before that, I would be helping out with all the paranormal, and doing the ghost tours and everything. But officially, the host for the last 2 years.
Wow.
Nice.
I actually took an interest in Fort Mifflin. I guess maybe 15 years ago. Did a little bit of research on it, and shortly after, by chance, I started seeing it on TV shows. And man, when a few weeks ago, as you can recall, New Jersey Paranormal Investigations asked me to come along as a guest. They hosted an event there with you, and man, it was exciting. I couldn't wait to get there. And I had so much fun, and definitely looking forward to coming back. It was bigger and more than I ever anticipated. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what a lot of people don't realize, the size. I mean, there's 40 acres total of land, and a lot of it is outside the fort. But the fort is so big with all the buildings.
Mm-hmm.
And we have groups come in and they go, "Oh my God, I didn't realize how big it was." And they don't, they want to run static cameras and cables, and they have nowhere. They can't run the cables. They don't have enough, and they think they after one night they say we got to come back again because we only could cover a small area of the fort. They couldn't really do a good investigation. They'd get in one area and it was active, and then they didn't get to anywhere else. So, yeah, the size does overwhelm a lot of people.
And I tell you, the coolest thing, like when we were getting ready for the event and whatever, I was wandering around and just the view of the place. When you look out over and can see Jersey, and I mean, the view just had me mesmerized. I mean, I was snapping pictures like crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, we're right on the Delaware River, and it's amazing. We're right by the airport there, but the wildlife we get, it's like a nature preserve there. There's deer, fox. We had beavers that were dammed up the moat that we had to relocate.
No kidding.
Yeah, we had it's a funny story with the beavers. We had the game conservation people come out and they set the live traps to get the beavers. And when they came back out, the beavers had used the traps in their dam. So it's like the Angry Beavers cartoon show, you know. So
Wow.
they had a time to getting them out of there. But yeah, you name it, fox, possum, raccoons, deer. We even had some coyote howls. I think they
Wow.
started, that night when you guys were there. We had some of the howls. So
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
there's a lot of wildlife there, and it's just a nice little isolated part of, right outside by the airport.
Now, I know you all had an event there last night. How'd that go?
That went really well, and it was it doesn't disappoint. I just say with we've been as before during we just opened up to the public in the middle of June, and we just had the grounds opened up, and we still just have closed up the buildings um, for the public, and just been opening them up for the investigation. So we open them up, and it gets very active because I guess they're happy to see people coming in. But we open up the casemates for the public now. But again, we're following all our guidelines with the mask and
Yeah, when I was up there, it was so safe and thought out, and I mean, anyone that's going to be coming up there, I mean, this whole madness thing shouldn't even be a concern. I mean, they ran it so well. Actually, a very good friend of ours, James Houston, he was part of the investigation last night, and he used the same exact term that you just did, Greg.
He's actually on watch right now.
Okay, he made a comment about investigating there last night, and his exact words were, Fort Mifflin never disappoints.
Yep, he said it was awesome last night.
Yeah, I was talking with him, and yeah, it never disappoints.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you because I mean, a lot of the places that we go to a lot or host events or whatever, we
we got a question real quick. Is Classmate 11 now open? Because it was closed 3 times when they were there. That came from Carmen. I'm going to butcher your name, but Tummelin?
The Casemate 11 is still closed to the public, but we open it up for our investigations. We just limit it to 2 people at a time to go in there because it's so confined. But we do open it up for the investigations. But unfortunately, for the general operating hours, that is closed to the public.
So what's the difference between the general operating hours and investigation hours? Can you give people kind of a clue on that?
Yeah, Wednesday through Sundays we're open to the public 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And then when we've been having our open investigations. Our next one's October 3rd, and that's when we open up everything for the people that come to investigate, because we can, as Ernie would say, we can control the flow and we limit the ticket sales. So we have a nice manageable number. We only sell 40 tickets. And that way the fort's so nice and big and so many places to investigate, everybody can spread out really good.
Nice.
Let me tell you, when I went there a few weeks, I guess it's been about 3 or 4 weeks since I was there. Greg or Dave, when like when you're somewhere, you go somewhere and you meet one of your favorite stars, or you go to a rock concert and you kind of get that starstruck. When I went in Casemate 11, that's how I felt. I had I was like, all right, man, my journey's complete. I can actually go home now. So it was really cool. Myself and Michelle from New Jersey Paranormal went in there, and she took a couple shots of me in there, and it was like, all right, if anything else does not happen, my journey is complete now. I've been here.
We've been getting a lot of photos from some of the people that go up there.
Yeah,
because we'll actually debunk them or confirm them for them, and we've had quite a few that look legit.
Yeah.
So
it's the best way I can describe it. I mean, and like I said, I've only been there once, but it's very active yet very comforting. You never get that I don't know. It's hard to explain. But
Yeah,
what?
you're absolutely right. It for me. It's relaxing. You get there, it's comforting. It's not like if Eastern State or something when you go there and it's just a nasty feeling. The
Right.
fort is for me. It's just so relaxing and it's just a great feeling.
Now, what I was going to ask you, with all the people investigating it now and groups coming there or what have you, the evidence that's being collected, does it all seem to, are people capturing, like, do you think they're capturing the same spirits, or is it a variety, or what would be your opinion on that?
Well, we're keeping a journal for people to document, and a lot of it is the same that's being captured. Um, but there are, as I would call your residential spirits that
Right.
are always there. But as I've told people, the fort it's unique in that it has the layers and layers of the history from the laid out in 1771, and then the siege of Philadelphia, the fort in 1777, when they held off the British for 6 weeks, and you had 150 dead, 200 total, 250 dead and wounded total.
Wow.
And then when they were rebuilding it under John Adams, it was done during the yellow fever pandemic of Philadelphia. So the boats had to stop at Fort Mifflin before going to Philadelphia to be
Right.
checked, and those that were sick were pulled off. And so you had the yellow fever deaths that were happening at the fort, and it was being built, helped by the French. So we have a lot of French people get surprised when they hear French on their ITCs or
Right.
orders. You had the
Que les
French
parler un
workers.
peu français.
Yep.
I will
We had,
definitely have fun there.
yeah, definitely. We had one night. It was great. It was a woman. And we were doing a ghost box session, and it was all French. And this woman spoke French, and the whole session was done in French.
Oh,
She asked
Wow.
nice.
It was incredible. She asked for, questions in French. We got a French answer. So we didn't hook up on some French radio station. So it was
Andy
just
Bookard says,
incredible.
Greg, thanks for hosting with us, NJPI, for your investigation. And hi, Ernie and Dave. Hi, back.
Hello. Hey,
Hey,
all right, I got a good question for you, Greg. I just thought of it. I said I got a good question for you. I just thought of this. I know that people come up during daylight hours
yes.
to tour the fort and learn the history and see everything from that standpoint, taking the paranormal out of the equation. Now, has anyone ever come up to you that was part of a daytime tour, like there for the history and educational purposes, that possibly had a paranormal experience?
We have our Revolutionary War soldier tour guide
Uh-huh.
that appears. And it happens during the day when there's maybe one, two, just few people and in the fort.
Wow.
And they will come out, they'll come and rave about this Revolutionary Soldier tour guide that would go into explicit details of the bombardment and lead them around. And we didn't have a tour guide at that time, or the tour guide was in Civil War. So that has happened quite often.
Nice. Now, James is asking for you to give details about the EVP from the Arsenal.
Oh, jeez, that we were sitting in the Arsenal, and the EVP came. It was like somebody spoke right into the recorder, and the response. We were asking questions, and the response was, "They are talking."
Wow.
Oh, wow.
That
And it
is
was
very
like somebody spoke. Yeah, that was it. They are talking. Like,
No.
so
that
yeah.
is very cool. But yeah, I was so curious. Like, does anybody come up and just take a daytime tour and wind up, coming across something like that unexplained? That would be kind of freaky for those that that don't believe.
Well, like I say, I'm planning on probably going up there next Sunday. I get my daughter every other week, so she left today, so I get her back Sunday. So I might come visit you.
That'd be awesome. Yeah.
How much is it per person to come in?
It's like
How much is it per head?
$10, and for it's cheaper for a child.
Nice.
So
Nice.
it's well worth it. Bring a lunch. We have a nice picnic area. Bring a lunch, sit down, and enjoy. Spend the day. We got the nature trail now opened up that goes out to about quarter of a mile down the river. There's the old, we call them the upper batteries. It's the defensive works that are outside the fort, and there's casemates down there too.
Nice.
I tell you, I tell you what crossed my mind when I first got there. It was a hot day. I'm driving up, and of course, I'm always drinking a lot of water, as I always do. So, like when we first get there, man, first thing I had to do was run to the men's room. So I think it was either you or Michelle told me where it was. And as soon as I got to the men's room, I had a flashback when I saw the episode on the original Ghost Hunters when Tango saw the person. It looked like they were getting ready to walk out of the rest of the ladies' room and go back in. And I was like, oh, wow, this was exactly where it happened.
Wow.
Yeah.
One of the people out there regularly, she actually sent me a photo. It was in a building with a whole bunch of benches. And there was like a round top.
Yeah.
You could clearly see something. Where's that?
Casemate 5.
Yeah.
All right. In the upper right, she took a couple photos, and whatever it was, it moved. And she's actually watching right now. So Carmen. But yeah, so they've come up with a couple pieces of good evidence there.
We had a lot of
we do get a lot of light. Go on.
Go ahead.
I just saying we do get a lot of weird light anomalies.
Right. We Casemate 5, Michelle and I were in there, and we wasn't doing nothing too complicated. She had I think a REM pod set, something, REM pod maybe, and she was doing some EVP work. Well, we were the only two in there, and then two of the guests came in and asked if they could join us. So of course, we said sure. And one of the ladies, she did like an EVP burst session, and it wasn't scary, but she was asking questions, and we got one of the most clear Class A EVPs I've ever heard. This lady captured a lady's voice, sound like an older lady, said, "Get out." And she didn't say it threatening. It wasn't nothing, but it was just a nice "get out."
Mm-hmm.
So I immediately said, hold the phone. And I run into where our equipment is, and I start running the Phasma box. And I mean, just the intelligent responses we were getting was incredible. But what I did was, since we were getting such clear responses, and there were a lot of people there that was new to the game, so I didn't want them to think there was any shenanigans. So basically what I did was I had one of Michelle's daughters step out of Casemate 5 with me, and I asked her for a 2-syllable password. And she gave me a 2-syllable word, and I wrote it on my phone, and I told her to go back in. So before I enter Casemate 5, very politely and hoping they were listening, I said, "Hey, whoever we're communicating with, this is the word that Macy gave me. Could you please tell our guests what this word is when I ask?" So I walked back in, and hey, we got a call coming in, Greg. Stand by. I got to finish that story, but we got to take.
This is somebody you'll know.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, is this Bill?
Yes.
Bill, you are live on Step Into the Paranormal with Dave and Ernie, and we got Greg on here with us.
How we doing?
Hey, Bill.
Bill, you are live.
Doing good, Bill.
Hey, Bill, turn your mic down because you're getting feedback on us.
Okay, we'll turn it down.
Hey,
good evening, guys. How we doing?
Hey, man, we hear you got a kind of a good story you can share with us real quick.
Yeah, we've known Greg for several years now and have investigated with him at Fort Mifflin numerous times. Over the last investigation in July, we were in casemate number 5, and Greg's REM pod went off several minutes nonstop, kind of like Morse code.
Right.
Then another couple had a REM pod on a wooden bench, and we caught a stick figure on the SLS camera.
Nice.
Trying to kick it off with his foot, and every time she got near him, she would either feel a cold spot or electricity going through, and then Greg captured some orbs at the same time with his digital camera. Just simply awesome.
Nice. How many times you been there, Bill?
Yeah.
Oh, probably a dozen.
Wow.
Yeah, probably a dozen.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Greg.
I had my infrared camera, and these were really, they weren't typical. I'm not an orb person, but they were like a green light, and it moved. It would move,
Right.
and it moved with how that stick figure was going, and
Right.
it was just I never picked that kind of image on the infrared camera before.
And this was in casemate 5, correct, Bill?
Correct.
That is when you plan on going back?
We'll be back there on October 3rd. That's the weekend of my birthday.
Wow.
Nice.
Maybe we'll have to come up there that night. Keep me posted on that night, Bill.
Okay.
Maybe we can join you. Hey, man, we appreciate you calling in, and hopefully we can see you up there in October, man.
All right. Thanks again.
All right, brother. You take care. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care, Bill.
So, Greg, can you give us a little bit of the history of the fort?
Hang on.
Oh, pardon me.
I gotta finish.
Story time.
I gotta finish telling Greg his story. So I give Macy she gives me the 2-syllable password. She goes back in. So I'm just asking the spirits, please, can you repeat this for our guests so they know you're here and everything's cool. So anyhow, we go in and I'm just asking, basic questions or what have you. And then I said, hey, look, this young lady just gave me a 2-syllable word. Now, for those familiar with a Phasma box, it operates kind of like a Echo Vox, but it doesn't have none of the background,
noise,
none
right?
of the phonetic sounds. It's just when they want to come through, they come through. And very distant, you could hear a response. And one of the guests, I've never met him before. He goes, hey, I heard that. And I said, all right, don't say nothing. Keep your thought. So I asked once, I continued on with my series of questions, and then I went back to it. And I said, hey, could you please repeat the password one more time to be certain? And
wait, I'm going to get psychic. It was yellow.
Yes.
Hey, Michelle told me.
Oh, Michelle told me. So the man, the same man goes, he said yellow. And I completely ignored him and went on with questions. And I didn't reveal that was the word. So about another minute or two in, I said, okay, we're getting ready to end this session. Could you please reiterate one more time what the password is? And once again, it said yellow.
I can figure it out. Yellow.
And I went around and I pulled it up on my phone where I had typed it in before I entered casemate 5 and showed everybody yellow on my phone. And at that point, like, the entire group was so into it that it was unbelievable.
Nice.
It was a lot of fun. Nice.
Sounds like casemate 5 has a lot of activity.
Yeah, I mean, it was responding. Like once that lady captured that EVP and we kind of acknowledged it, it was like it came to life. I mean, the meters that Michelle had set up were all going crazy. And then, of course, the Phasma box. I mean, when we were asking for names and places, it was giving it to us. And you know how the Phasma box works. That's
exactly.
not a lot of mumbo jumbo.
Right. You don't get a lot of background noise on it.
Yeah. So that was definitely a high point of the night for me.
So tell us a little bit about the history of Fort Mifflin. When was it open? What was it for? Why was it for?
All right. It was laid out in 1771 by the British to protect the city of Philadelphia. At the time was your largest English-speaking city in the British, the colony. They ran out of money. 1773, they didn't completely finish the fort, and then 1774 1776, of course, when we had our Declaration of Independence, Ben Franklin raised money to work on completing the fort. The British had fortified it was granite, and but then when the Americans worked on it, it was to finish it up with just mud and logs and earth embankments and everything. And then there, like I say, they had the siege of 1777, where these men were basically on a suicide mission to hold off at all costs the British, because the British had already occupied Philadelphia, and these guys held out for 6 weeks, and then eventually. Um, they just ran out of ammunition and everything. Everything they were just getting obliterated. They were getting pounded by 1,000 cannonballs an hour by the British. Um,
Wow.
so it was your longest active military fort in the United States. Active. It was active military fort from Revolutionary War all the way through the Korean War. It was decommissioned. Um, well, it was deactivated in 1954, then decommissioned in 1962, given to the city of Philadelphia. Um, Civil War, um, it was a military prison. Now, when this was rebuilt again, as I said earlier, under Adams, the casemates that we're talking about, they would have been the bomb shelters for the troops. There's 5 casemates underground. Uh, One would have been for the soldiers. Then there's 3 small ones, 2, 3, and 4. They would have been used for storage. And then casemate 5, which we've been talking about, that would have been for the officers. During the Civil War, Fort Mifflin became a military prison, and it earned the nickname Lincoln's Bastille. The conditions were horrific. Casemate 1 became Confederate POW cell. These were the POWs, Confederates that were captured in Gettysburg. So they were marched all the
Hmm.
way to Gettysburg, all the way out to Fort Mifflin.
Wow.
Casemate 5 would have
Amazing.
been your Union prisoners. They would have been your deserters, any of those guys that were charged with crimes from the Union. They were thrown in there. And in those casemates, 1 and 5, um, there would have been 200 men shoved in those casemates.
Oh, wow.
And they would have been just, yeah, uh, dirt floors with some wooden planks over them. They would be one bucket for the 200 men for their waste. So basically, they just would lay down and sleep on their own waste. And the 3 smaller cells that were used for storage became political prisoner cells. There would have been
Hmm.
45 men stored in each of those, and they were civilians. There was a group up in upstate. It was called the Fishing Creek Confederacy. These guys were against Lincoln. They didn't want to report for the draft. 53 of them were rounded up and sent down to prison. There was a group, if you know your history, Molly Maguire's, the Irish mining uprising. 40 of them were sent to the fort. And then there was also some Knights of the Golden Circle that were discovered that were thrown in the fort. So Civil War, it was just brutal. The conditions were horrific. So there was a lot of deaths during that time. And then World War I, it was munitions storage. World War II, it was an anti-aircraft. Guns were installed to protect the Navy Yard. And then Korean War, it was used for just storage for supplies for the Philadelphia Navy Yard. So that's the history of it. And I mean, like I say, the layers and layers of the history, and the layers are layers of death at the fort,
Right.
really makes it unique. That I think.
Now, we have a question from one of our viewers. Is there a story about someone named Bernard and that he hated women? That's from Carmen.
Well, Bernard, that would have been like Devlin. He would have been him and uh, a soldier named William Howe. They were 2 that we know of that were kept in casemate 11, which would have been the solitaire. That's
Hmm.
basically a hole in the ground. These guys were just thrown in there. So yes, he had written his name along with William Howe on the walls of the cell, and they he seems to be the most ornery one. Um, that
I like
that
that
that's
word,
in
honoring.
that cell.
That's what my grandmother used
Yeah.
to call me.
Yeah, I was gonna say I got that one too a few times.
I tell you though, for those, I mean, of course, this is a paranormal radio show, but as far as Fort Mifflin, I mean, even if you're not into the paranormal, and like Greg said, that you can come up and have a picnic or whatever, it's just an amazing place in general.
Well,
I mean, I can't wait for you to go there, man, and see the lake.
The thing I like though is the book he's using for people to register.
That's cool
for confirmation.
Yeah,
that is amazing to me. That is brilliant.
And by no means am I'm making a comparison, but the only thing I have to compare it to, it kind of put me in mind like when we go to Fort McHenry, like because we live not far from Fort McHenry, and it kind of has that same. It's just a aura about it when you go there. I guess because of everything and all the history, you know what I mean. But that's a really cool place.
So hello to Margie. She's saying hello from across the pond.
What pond?
The Atlantic.
I know.
Is that Stevens?
You are international now. Colette is asking, where is it? In other words, where is Fort Mifflin? Can you be a little bit more specific for her?
It's outside of this, downtown. It's right by the Philadelphia airport. If you know the airport, it is in the back, behind the airport, in the back. So it's on Hog Island Road.
There.
So
Pennsylvania.
You can get off of I-95, and you get on Hog Island Road and swing around, and we're in the back there.
Yeah, because
away from everything.
Yeah, it is, because when I came up, man, it was just, and it didn't take me but hour and a half, maybe, straight up 5 till I get there. And of course, once I got there, I got lost, which even with a GPS, I get lost, and
story of his life.
I was on the phone and they were like, "What do you look around? What do you see?" And I'm like, "Airplanes." I'm looking at Federal Express airplanes. I think I went too far.
Yeah,
but when you
passed it, yeah,
the little road you take, like to go back to it, you would never realize that Fort Mifflin's back there. I mean, it's so secluded. It gives it that whole feel about it, man. I loved it. Nice. Can't wait to come back. Hey, we want to give a shout out.
It was an island.
It was an island?
It was built on Mud Island. So, and then they backed it up over years. So that's really one of the reasons that, nice and little secluded back there.
Right. Hey, we want to give a quick shout out to our friend Kim. You remember Kim? We met at the Roundhouse Paracon back in 2017. And
she joined us for this. So thanks for watching us.
Hopefully we can come back to the Roundhouse soon. Greg, what you got any good events coming up at Fort Mifflin, or what's going on up there, man?
Well, our next open investigation, as we said, is October 3rd. And then we start in with our Candlelight Ghost Tours. And October 24th, we have our Sleep with the Ghost program. That's already sold out.
Wow.
A lot of fun where, people can come and spend the whole night if they choose to.
What
so
the Candlelight Ghost Tour?
Really
the Candlelight Ghost Tour. That sounds pretty intriguing.
We just the fort's just lit with candles, and the guides, we walk around with our lanterns, and we walk around and tell the ghost stories, that all of us have either experienced or that's been documented repeatedly, and that we can tell. And a lot of these stories, we encourage people to take pictures, and people capture quite a bit of evidence by just taking their pictures. Last year I had with the fort being military fort, you had families, you have wives and children, and it's documented women and children died at the fort. Um,
Oh, wow.
so I had this one group, and it was two younger boys. We don't have anything jump out or anything like that. It's just a nice family oriented walk and just telling the stories of the our ghost at the fort. And as I'm walking in, I actually saw two little kids running around, and these are
Wow.
a little brother and sister that like to play games. At they're both ghosts, but they like to hang out and play games. And I didn't say anything, so I got the group, and we stopped, and I started talking, going over a little background of the fort and everything. And I asked, "Is there any questions?" And this one little boy raises his hand, and he asked, "Did any children die here at the fort?" And I had the big grin on my face, and I knew what the answer was going to be when I said, I told him, "Yes, we had children die here at the fort." And I asked him, "Why do you ask that?" And he goes, "When we came in, I saw those two little kids running around." And I said, "Well, welcome to Fort Mifflin. You met your first ghost."
Wow.
Nice.
Hey, Greg, so we just had some people chime in that are watching live from Ireland,
Midlands, Ireland.
Midlands, Ireland.
Now we
Uh,
have a question from a
hey,
Facebook user. When do you do reenactments?
they do reenactments. We do them all through the year. Um, the next big one will be our siege weekend in November, where we have the reenactment of the siege with the British. But we do Civil War, we do World War Two, we do the Western Eastern Front, and then we do the siege in November. December, um, we have the Battle of the Bulge reenactment at the fort. So
Nice.
all the information is at the website fortmifflin.us, and you go to the events and you can see. But yeah, we do all the reenactments since again, the fort was active from the
Hmm.
Revolutionary all the way through the Korean. We have our reenactors come.
Does do you think the reenactments does that stir up activity or?
It does. It really does. That time when I came with the Scouts the first time, and like I say, the year before the original ghost hunters showed up at the fort.
Hmm.
We were there the weekend after the siege weekend. This was in
Hmm.
November,
Hmm.
and I'm telling you, it was nuts. I mean, that's the first time I heard the screaming lady. There was people running around. You hear footsteps. The adults, and us are running around trying to make sure, doing head counts of kids that they're not
Oh,
moving and running around. We were chasing voices. It was incredible.
what is if you had to, and I'm sure you have many, but what would be your most memorable paranormal experience since you've been at the fort? Is there any that's just come to mind right away?
Yeah, two of them. When I had, we were sitting in the powder magazine. We were sitting on the ground in a circle,
Hmm.
and we're doing some EVP sessions. And all of a sudden, the person to my right um, went forward, like it was pushed forward. Then
Hmm.
I had this burst of energy go through me, and the person on the left got pushed backwards. So I was like,
Wow.
something came,
Oh, wow.
pushed the person on my right forward, went through me, and pushed the one on my left back to get away.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
Also, yeah, that was my first time anything that energy like that. And
Hmm.
then I was sitting in the West Sally, somebody climb over me to get to the top bunk, and then they climb back down over me to get off. So
Oh,
that
wow.
that that's my two. I mean, I've seen full bodies, I've seen shadows, you name it. I mean, it's happened.
I have a question for you. All right, so I'm former U.S. Navy. Have you ever had anybody come in there in military uniform or military garb that's had an experience that they weren't actually expecting?
We, we- um, Well, it was. I can't call offhand, but the reenactors uh, do experience why they're there.
Wow.
Nice.
But yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I mean, when World War One and Two and everything afterward, that was all Marines station there.
Mhm.
It was, and because the Philadelphia Navy Yard was right up the river, you can see the Navy Yard from the fort. You can actually see the retired JFK aircraft carrier that's mothballed right there right now.
Wow.
So it was under Navy jurisdiction. So you had the Marines there.
Wow.
Oh, I'm definitely going to be.
I tell you,
I'm
Dave,
excited.
you're going to like it
I'm
because
excited.
I know the things that you like and enjoy. And Fort Mifflin is just.
Well,
you know,
I love Fort McHenry. So, like I say, I'm former U.S. Navy. So, you know, I love old forts. I've been down to New Orleans and investigated some forts down there. So, I'm excited.
yeah, it's going to be great. Greg,
Well,
we really appreciate.
yes.
Huh?
Good.
Go ahead.
Yep, I was just going to say, maybe the Navy Yard. You know, you can go up and tour the Navy Yard, and mothball fleet's up there too. So that's a great
There you
place.
go.
They still have the all the old buildings up there, and you can tour around the Navy Yard.
Nice. Now, if I came up during the daytime for just one of the daytime tours, can I bring equipment with me and play around a little bit?
Sure, we let people do that. Just come in, set up equipment, and go. Because during the week we don't get a lot of traffic, so it's perfect.
Nice.
Nice.
Nice. We're going to have to take a trip up there. So
Yeah.
just have some fun.
Greg, we really appreciate you spending an hour with us on a Sunday evening.
Most definitely.
And we will
Wow,
definitely.
already an hour?
It's just almost. Yeah, we're coming up on.
We're at 45 minutes now, and we have a little bit of work to do on the back end. You know what I mean?
We will definitely be in touch. And before you go, please, once again, tell everybody how they can arrange to come up there. What do they need to do?
Yep. Well, as I said, the our website is www.fortmifflin.us. You can go on there to see about the all our events. If you're a paranormal group that wants to come, you can get it. The information is there. If you want to come and spend the night, investigate, or half the night, we offer both overnight or half the nights. And all the directions are all listed there, and everything you need to know will be on the website.
Very cool. Very cool.
Awesome.
I just popped it up into chat. So Wendy says, awesome interview. Thanks, guys. So you are very much appreciated. And I hope I will be seeing you Sunday.
And Greg, any evidence that you get or any of your
let me know if you come up.
Definitely.
Any evidence that you get or any of your guests get, please post on our Paranormal Inc. page so everybody everybody can see it. There's a lot of people hitting me up over the past few days that we're really looking forward to
absolutely
your stories tonight.
Yeah, any evidence you get whatsoever, if you want to point people, say, hey, look, pop it up at Paranormal Inc. on Facebook. We'll accept them as a friend, and we'll make sure that we show the love.
Will do. I'm sure I get you the one picture we had of a fourth grader took on, and it's a full body he caught that it pretty incredible. So I'll make sure you guys get that.
Thanks,
awesome,
man.
Awesome.
Greg, thank you again.
Thank you.
We'll
God
be
bless,
in touch.
God love. Be safe.
All right, see ya. Thank you so much.
He is an awesome.
You're gonna like it there, man.
Dude, I'm excited.
As soon as I got there, as soon as you park and you walk the path, it's like a stone. I don't want to say a brick, but like you walk under.
Okay.
And you can just feel the energy. Nice. And I'm not a person that feels stuff, you know what I mean? And you can just feel when you walk in there, man. It's like you're stepping back in time.
I'm gonna definitely have to take my case with me though.
But, you want to explain our wardrobe this evening?
All right, so we have a wonderful young lady, Jody Nettles
from
SOS Team Paranormal Camp, and actually, why don't you call her up? Why don't you get her on real quick? Hey, Jody, we're calling you. But yeah, definitely. I we let's see, Jody. When I finally book your overnight, you guys are invited. Oh, I love you. So.
Oh, here we go.
Bring bug repellent. Jody, we're calling you now, honey.
Hi, Ernie.
Hello, Jody.
Now, how you know it ain't me?
Because
Hi, baby poo.
How you doing, beautiful?
we just wanted to call and thank you for these shirts.
Awesome shirts. Awesome shirts.
You guys look so handsome.
We look uniform.
Hey, I have to stop at the store on the way home, man. I'm gonna have to go into a bright pink bitch club shirt.
I know, you're so handsome.
Oh my goodness. How you been, Jody?
I've been great. I missed you guys.
Yeah, it's been well, yeah, I haven't seen you since Gettysburg. What was that, 3 weeks ago? 2 weeks
Yeah.
ago? 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago?
And I didn't see Davy Pooh.
Yeah, you know how
Yeah, I got some weird things going on here at the house, and
you know how Dave is.
some things. So, but you know what? I missed you guys.
I know.
We had fun though.
Yeah, I heard Fane and
Well-
Goat had fun too.
Yeah, we had a good time.
When we do the Fort Mifflin overnight, you guys are definitely invited.
Yeah,
Oh,
let us know, Jody.
I will.
All right, we're not going to keep you. We just wanted to thank you.
I appreciate it. Now you're official.
We are. I tell you, man, I'm in all these. Beside Paranormal Inc. project with David Seiler, and then we have the Old Bald Dudes Paranormal with me, Haney, Julian, and Porter. And
I was left
now
out of
I'm
that
in.
one.
Now I'm in the bitch club. That's not my fault. That's not my fault. You're not bald. Shave your damn head.
I got summer hair, some are there.
Well, I think you guys are official bitches, and we're proud to have you.
I've been telling Dave that long before he was accepted
Yeah.
into the club. So, hey,
Any man that gets one of them shirts is really happy to have one. So you guys, it's a limited group. So
good. And be sure to tell everyone at the Teen Paranormal Club that we say hello and send all our love that way.
Hey, Fane and Goat is watching. Hi, Fane and Goat.
I will tell them all because they love you guys and they can't wait till camp next year.
Keep us posted on everything, dear.
I will, dear. You guys are invited. You know that.
All righty. Bye.
Love you, bub.
Love you. Bye.
So
basically, it's I'm excited. I really want to go there. I
yeah,
really
Fort
do.
Mifflin, man. I tell you, we had a good time, man. It was nice. And like I said, you always have that creep factor when you're investigating.
Oh, always.
But it was so like a welcoming, like, I don't know. You just have to tell me what you think when you go there. And we will be back there soon. One other thing too, pretty important. You see, we've been posting with Tori Smith about the Paranormal Relief Project.
Yep.
Well, good news. Halloween night. The tickets, you can start reserving your tickets for the Paranormal Relief Project. They are free. But we will be checking to make sure you're first responder, frontline worker, all that good stuff during this pandemic.
They will verify it because this is free to the first responders and doctors, nurses, paramedics, fire, ambulance, police,
and the amount of locations. I mean, every day is growing. Everybody's participating in this. So no matter where you're at watching us or listening to us, there's going to be a location that you can get to. Trust me. Dave and we're fortunate enough. We're going to be at Malvern Manor in Iowa with Tori. And, of course, with Mr. Josh Hurd, who was on our last episode when Dave's house came to life.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. So, just an update to it. The issues have died down. We've heard a couple knocks, a couple voices still, but the cabinet's actually stopped opening at this point. When Ernie and I did the investigation, we put a name to what was going on, and it seems to be correct at this point. I went as far as with my daughter and one of her friends over here today, and we got a little bit of REM pod activity, but nothing to really speak of.
I tell you, I think, and Dave and I spoke about this before we investigated it, and it kind of brought some validation. Dave had some things going on, not paranormal, I mean normal things.
Yeah, life.
And the activity kicked up. And I put a lot of thought into it. And the conclusion we come to at this point is we do believe it was somebody just trying to get Dave a message or look out for him. And once we validated that and basically said, hey, we're on the same page with you, we got this. It's because even during the investigation, when we gave confirmation to whom it was we felt we were speaking to,
right,
everything went dead.
Everything went dead.
Everything went dead once we, acknowledged it.
And
so
we've had a couple knocks and confirmation of knocks. Come over to our podcast. We would love to.
Who's that?
Let me figure that out.
That's
Brent and Emma.
Brent and Emma from United Kingdom.
Yeah, UK. We would love to.
Brent and Emma, they was on our show a few months ago. They are a couple. They're doing very well in the United Kingdom in the paranormal field. And I believe as of yesterday, they were offered their own podcast. So definitely want to check that out. Their site on Facebook is B Paranormal.
BE.paranormal. So
BE
find them,
paranormal.
subscribe to them, love them, show them the paranormal love.
They're real good.
And
real
if you mention us, it's a half off price.
Well, Mr. David Seiler, you got anything else?
Well, I just want to tell you guys, keep your eyes on the Travel Channel. Season 3 of Haunted Hospital. Someone's going to be there. It's confirmed. He's going up to shoot. He's leaving here Tuesday and coming back Wednesday night. Maybe.
I might just decide to stay.
Oh.
Maybe I'll relocate.
Well, fine. Be that way then. All right, guys. We love you. Thank you, as always, for tuning in. We're at 55 minutes, so we're going to give you 5 minutes of your day back. Mwah.
Thanks again,
Jody,
for the
thank you. We love you. And, guys, be safe. Feigning goat, stay feigning. One love, y'all.
See you in 2 weeks.
You've been listening to Step into the Paranormal with Ernie Atwell and David Seiler. Thank you for listening, and listen in next week for another topic and more great guests right here on WLFE DB Radio Network.